That being said, the idea of flexibility can definitely go too far, so far that it either greatly impedes your ability to make progress or at the very worst, completely eliminates your ability to make progress. Now, you guys know that I am a massive proponent of tracking macros and quote-unquote flexible dieting. The reason I'm a fan of that is because I think that it gives the individual a huge amount of accountability within their own body composition goals. Especially when I'm working with a Gen Pop or lifestyle client, the ultimate goal, the end point is for me to teach them to not need me anymore. That level of responsibility and accountability and knowing how to handle your own food intake is imperative to have sustainable results over the rest of your life, because that's what we're doing when we're saying that we're doing this for our lifestyle. That being said, the idea of flexibility can definitely go too far, so far that it either greatly impedes your ability to make progress or at the very worst, completely eliminates your ability to make progress. So on the basis of a couple of discussions with new clients this week and on the front end of our Pro Physique Transformation Challenge starting shortly, let's give you some context surrounding that. So number one, and this is the very obvious one, is that food choices matter in terms of health. We don't want to just be macro matching and playing macro Tetris to the detriment of getting in good quality foods, getting in your micronutrients, getting in your fiber, and ultimately not only reaching your body composition goals, but maintaining and building good health over time. Secondarily to that, what we have to realize is that the food choices you're using, understanding that compliance and consistency to the plan is our number one goal and our number one endeavor, the foods that you choose are going to have an impact on that. If you're using highly palatable, high calorie foods to achieve your macro goals, the likelihood is that you're not going to be very satiated, you're going to be hungry all the time, you're going to put yourself in a position where you are craving more of those foods, and your ability to be compliant and consistent greatly diminishes. The final one, and I think in a sense this could be the most important because it's the one that people just don't take into account, is that a lot of these high calorie foods that we're trying to macro match with are not accurately trackable. And what that means is that you might be going out to eat at a restaurant, logging that meal, getting a general idea, finding a generic entry on your tracking app of what macros and calories that represents. But what we know, and I can guarantee this for sure, is that there could be as much as a 30 to 50% discrepancy in terms of what those actual macros and calories are. So this is a situation which you run into all the time where the client thinks they are doing everything that they need to do in order to facilitate the level of progress that they want, because they're tracking these kinds of foods, believing them to be accurate where in fact they aren't. And if that happens once a week, and perhaps there's a 200-300 calorie discrepancy, that can impede your progress. But let's now say that's happening twice, 3-4 times a week. Let's say it's happening every day. You could be in a situation where you're unknowingly eating 1,000 to 2,000 calories over your net weekly goal, not making progress and having the perception that this diet isn't working, where in fact you just don't have accurate data and you're overeating. So as tough as it can be, because obviously we live within a generation where we want to have our cake and eat it too, so to speak. We want to lose fat, but we want to eat foods that we enjoy. There is a line that shouldn't be crossed in terms of what kind of foods you're eating, or at least how regularly you're eating them. My suggestion for the most part is 95% of the time, stick to good, whole foods, but most importantly, foods that are not only easily trackable, but accurate in terms of their trackability, because that way we can ensure that the data that we're getting over the course of a week and over the course of a month is accurate enough to then assess what changes need to be made and when. And that is the way to guarantee your success in this endeavor. Because at the end of the day, what we have to realize as well is that you don't want to be in a fat loss phase forever. It sucks. So get in and out of it as fast as possible. And the way that you do that is make sure that the data that you're gathering for your coach is as accurate as it can be.